Now, here's the fun part. Here's the fun part. If you're smart, which took me about 600 years to become smart, but what I did was I finally bought one of these things. All right, all right. Hey, check it out. Fabulosa. Blowing gaskets. Old Duke Hoosier. Oh, is that heaven? That is heaven. When you smell as bad as I do, 99% of the time. Check this out. Man, I have been doing, I don't know, little one. I don't know how many years I've been cleaning up stuff. And you know what? Quite honestly, I just got rid. This is my go-to, the old brake clean, right? Brake clean. I mean, it's not cheap. This bottle seems to last about 4 seconds. Not even going to talk about. I'm just not going to talk about Fabulosa. This thing is an ultrasonic cleaner. I got it on Amazon. It cost me about $180 if you want to know the truth. This is the biggest one I could afford. And I don't remember how many liters it is, but it's time to jump back on some C10. I'm getting ready to jump on that 4.8, and everything that came off of it needs cleaning, and especially the block. The block won't fit in here. But here's this thing. Here's what you do. You pull this off, the lid, and it's going to leak all over the place. I'm not worried about that. But if you look at the temperature, what's it say, Luce?
59.
59. That's about 130 degrees-ish. Somewhere in there. And then there's a timer next to it. And if you look at these carbs, man, check this out. These are some carbs off of an old Maxim X. These things, you couldn't even tell were aluminum at one point when I got them. I've got two that are good, two that aren't good. I'm hanging on to them in case I need to replace two. These are 34 millimeter Mikunis. But look how clean these things are, right? And I didn't even take them apart. I dropped these things in here. Now, here's the fun part. If you're smart, which took me about 600 years to become smart. But what I did was I finally bought one of these things. It's got this little tray in here, right? It's not as deep as I thought it was going to be, but this little tray holds everything off the bottom. So you have to make a concoction. And oh man, you can find recipes all over the internet. I like to use Simple Green. I like the purple Simple Green, just so happen to be out of that. I've got some purple Fabulosa. The thing I like about it is how good it smells. Oh, it just smells so good. Because my shop is pretty gnarly. Now, how much did you put in there? I don't know. I'm sure there's people that use measuring devices and all kinds of things. I don't know any of this. So what else do I have? I got some Super Strength Mean Green. I don't know what it does. I'm going to pour some of this in here. So I got green and purple going on in here. And you notice I didn't really measure that. I've also got some awesome, I don't know what it is, degreaser. Throw some of this in here. If I can figure out how to open it, maybe I'll spray some in here. There we go. I'll just spray some in here. 17, 18, 20, 43. That's what I got. And then this is a really good one. If you're really gunked up, I like the Diamond. This is kind of the off-brand. This is dollar store stuff, man. You go to the dollar store and pick up this type of stuff. And what I like about this is this degreaser right here really seems to take it off. And this is so thick it sticks to the bottom. I'm going to have to stir it up. And then my go-to for all this aluminum stuff that I like to do is nothing more than a $2 box of baking soda. And I just love to pour quite a bit of this in here, right? It's so cheap. That's probably more than I needed, but we're going to live with it today. And I got my little Go Kit, my Go Kit right here. Now, if I was doing carburetors, I'd probably add a little bit of carb cleaner, just a little, not carb cleaner like that, but the stuff you get in the can. You can buy this stuff. A lot of the stuff, that was the lid, by the way, in case you're wondering what I did. Let's get this up a hair. And I'll show you what we're getting ready to do on C10 Day. C10 Day, engine parts, Orama. Very exciting. Stir that up. What I've got here are valve covers off of a 4.8 liter LS motor from 2007, came out of a Tahoe. Somewhere between 295 and 310 horse. I don't know which exact one I have, but these things are aluminum. And you can see that they weren't nasty inside. But we're going to throw these in here. I'm going to hit the timer for 12 minutes, and then we're going to check it and see if we got all this crap off of here. Flip it over. So I'm going to put the lid on it. You got to see what I'm pushing here. Moving stuff. Got her set to 12 minutes. I can change that to whatever I want. I'm going to do like 13 minutes for fun. And I've got this thing at 62. I'm going to knock it down to 58. 60. It may come up 2 more degrees. I'm going to start it. You hear that noise? That's the ultrasonic cleaner. I feel like that guy that was always selling ShamWow. Oh, I think we're done. Hey, check this out. Check this out. Right here, we got it up to 61 degrees. That's Celsius, by the way. And we needed Fahrenheit. Anyway, it came up. Now it's Christmas. It's Christmas. We get to reveal. We get to reveal. Oh, ooh, look how dirty this water is, Luce. Look how dirty that water is. It did something. It's kind of like when I get out of the shower in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Might be too hot to grab. That doesn't feel too bad. Of course, I jammed it in there pretty good. And, you know, it's, look at that. That's going to come right off of there. Let me try this piece of wood here so I don't scratch anything. I'm just going to give this a quick, just scrape. I'm going to just get some of this super chunk off of here. And then we're going to run it in there again and see what happens. I'll go another 10 minutes, and I might even bump my heel. Are you kidding me? Look at this. Look at this. Huh? Look at this. Are you looking? Are you looking at this? I'm looking at it. And oh my God, I'm very stoked. Very stoked. Look at that. Even that's just coming off with just a little toothbrush move here. And I may run it just another minute or two just to try to get some of this excess off of here. Clean these up a little bit. Hold it onto the block. But yeah, this is what, you know, if you're an old schooler like me, which I am. I'm an old schooler. I get it. I'm not a big fan of technology and these computerized things that you can type onto a keyboard. I don't like any of that stuff. But what I do like is when you invest a couple $100, under a couple $100, into something that saves you this much time and aggravation, and I didn't have to get a sandblaster out and pay somebody to come in here. This is pretty phenomenal stuff to me, man. So if you're the type of guy, or girl, or alien, or dog that likes to clean stuff, you gotta get yourself an ultrasonic cleaner. All right, Abe's hassling me. Don't knock that thing over. You know, Jesus. Never ends. All right, final reveal. Saw me horsing around with the toothbrush. It's a little on the warm side. So let's look at the inside. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to get better than that without sandblasting it. I don't want to sandblast this thing. I am going to sandblast it with some baking soda. I have a little sandblaster that does baking soda because I want to dull this thing out and get it all one. It's going to be a dull gray. I don't want it super shiny. And, you know, quite honestly, these coil packs go on it anyway. This number 2 is like this. All right, so this coil pack goes on here. Now this, I'm afraid to put this in there because of all the electronics, but it may not hurt them. I don't know, but I can't afford to test that. So what I'm going to do next is, and you guys don't need to hang around for this. I'm sure you got better things to do with your lives, but I don't. I am going to take this other one. Let's start out. Look at all this. You know, if I was smart, I would just take a toothbrush to it right now. I'm not going to do that. You know, the inside's not, well, it's actually pretty clean. This thing's only like an 80,000 mile motor. So I didn't have a ton of miles on it to begin with, which is the whole reason I bought it. I'm going to put this in here, but I'm not going to get it in my way. I'll put this there. Remember, you know what? It went right. Where did I take that off? Here? Yeah. I'm going to take this one off here. And remember, it was this one on that coil pack and this one are supposed to line up, but I do know that it's where you oil fill. I'll leave this rubber thing on here. And once again, we're gonna turn that switch on once I get this out of the way. That's good, that's good. A little warm, stick my hand in there, but let me give us a pre-soak here, right here, get some of that really thick stuff off. And now, what are we up to, Luce? What's that say?
61.
61, I don't know what that is. You got to do the math.
139.
Is there an easy way to do that equation? You're a math guy.
I forget the conversion rate.
Well, Celsius versus Fahrenheit, I mean, that can't be too hard. It's got to be an app. I wasn't going to do this, but now that I'm dealing with Luce, I got to, because I get frustrated when it comes to math. What I don't get frustrated by is when you buy something and it actually works. You know what I mean? Carburetors. Man, when I got this thing, it was like crack. I could not lay off this thing. This thing holds about 5 gallons of water, right? And then you put all this chemical concoctions in here and you hit the buttons and you walk away from it. Yes, it's annoying to listen to, but man, when it gets done doing its thing, so much time and effort. You know, you need a parts cleaner, right? You need a parts cleaner and a brush, and that stuff's expensive and it's messy and it gets everywhere. This thing, I didn't kick the lid over. You put the lid on it, jack it up to about, I'm going to go up to like 15 minutes this time because that seemed to really help last time. And I'll go 14. I'll go 15. Living large. Hit the button. Good night, everybody.